Hey, everybody. Welcome to another JP's Chalk Talks interview. I've got a great friend over in Spain, one of my favorite countries, and also home of one of my favorite Formula One drivers, Fernando Alonso, Pablo Hesse. And Pablo and I have known each other for a little bit of time, and we've got to know he is formerly CEO of TelToo. And so let's introduce Pablo. Pablo, how are you doing? Glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me, and hi all. Thank you for the invitation. I mean, I'm doing pretty well. I'm here in Madrid, Spain. It's afternoon time right now. I'm happy to to chat with you, John, and again for inviting me.
It's awesome to have you here. I know you're super busy. So, Pablo, maybe just take a few minutes. I kind of mentioned yet, you were CEO of TelToo. Uh, Maybe a little bit of background about yourself and kind of currently what your focus is now, because there's been some changes for the TelToo team and transitioning to being part of the Haivision family.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, as you said, John, I was formerly the CEO of TelToo. TelToo is a peer-to-peer CDN company. We leverage technologies like WebRTC to transmit or deliver content throughout the network. There's connecting different devices. So instead of using a single point like a CDN, what we use is a hybrid approach, combining the force of the CDNs plus a peer-to-peer. That way it's like you can have a lot of benefits like decreasing the cost or increasing the quality of experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with TelToo for the last 4 years and a half. So since I founded the company back here in Madrid, and then I moved it to Denver, Colorado. So I've been with the company there's like those 4 years and a half where it's like we were working for the likes of Liberty Global, the largest international cable company, or RTV, the public broadcaster in Spain. And now it was like very recently, I guess, like 2 months ago, it was like Telto was acquired by Haivision, one of the most exciting companies in the
Yeah,
streaming space.
absolutely.
And yeah, that's it. So we have incorporated into the Haivision family, and we're now just like collaborating and rolling up our sleeves to make their cloud services much better and evolving their products.
That's fantastic. And I think that, now that you're part of Higher Vision, you kind of, you guys are already doing great things. And you and I had conversations about the technology and some of the benefits and values of kind of where TelToo kind of came into the online streaming space. Um, as far as the technology, maybe for the audience that, maybe watching this video and the interview, we talk about P2P or, point to point, those type of acronyms. Where do you see the value in terms of the platform and kind of where you're going now in terms of the technology? We've had a lot of changes, obviously, with the pandemic, and things have kind of upscaled the activity of sorts. And one of the key areas is quality of service and delivery, but also quality of experience for the audience maybe watching, whether it's a sporting event online or some other type of live event. How does the TelToo technology, now part of Haivision, as part of that process, how does that add to increase value in terms of that delivery and resiliency?
Sure, absolutely. There are several use cases. The most obvious one is live streaming. It's like as you may know, John, live streaming has grown intensively over the last few years. I mean, it was the content missing from the point of view of the internet, right? I mean, it's like we first had Netflix with the bulk content,
Mm-hmm.
and then it needed to be, it's like we needed to include the live streaming to offer a whole television experience. So live streaming is the strong use case for a peer-to-peer CDN solution. So we've been delivering content like sporting events is the most obvious one,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like there are also like breaking news or weather forecasts, or there's like even those private events where companies need to stream live to their employees. I mean, it's like things like town halls, for instance, is an obvious one or a usual one too. Or there's like ask me everything meetings. I mean, where there's like the executive team want to engage more with their employees, so they can ask everything. So before TelToo, I mean, these companies had a CDN approach, or it's like a multi CDN depending on the country. I mean, one thing shocking for the audience might be that in the US it's pretty usual to use a multi CDN approach for delivering your content, but in other countries, and I'm not saying in Europe, but countries like Japan, the CDN approach is not something that they have even started. So it's something new for them. So it's like combining all those technologies and adding Delta on top of, it's like a single CDN or a multi CDN strategy makes the content to be delivered a lot better because you're offloading the pressure from those CDNs at specific moments, like those ones or the obvious ones that we're thinking, like the Super Bowl or a World Cup or the U.S. Open, and those type of contents.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of an interesting approach because I think that for the platform, you're right. A lot of people don't think about a multi CDN strategy. They don't think about the resiliency, and I was thinking about that yesterday when I was doing another conversation about the next stage in terms of a more broadcast level configuration. And I think that's obviously with the increase in activity. We've seen the numbers both in Europe as well as other countries and now in the United States of people that are going online because of the pandemic and the changes and transitions that have taken place. What, from your perspective, in the past several months, what have you seen from your perspective and your experience in terms of just, here's the platform, here's what we've been doing. Have you seen any changes in terms of just common questions from customers or your interactions with people where I think they kind of, like you said, are trying to make sure that they have consistent delivery, right? And need to think about the strategy maybe from what they have been doing to where they are at now.
No, absolutely. I have three cases in mind. I mean, first, it was one of our customers, a broadcaster. It was like they were, it was like a streaming breaking news. And, that's like at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody wanted to be informed, right? So it was like you have your president or you have your government announcing new measures or new policies, and you needed to be updated. So we saw a 50% increase in live traffic over those first months. So that was something like where we said, well, I mean, it's like they're increasing all their traffic and they're benefiting from the technology,
right?
Because the way that we work is as a flat rate. You don't pay for traffic; you pay for a fixed amount per month, and you can deliver as much traffic as your audience allow you. So there's like that allows you. So that's one of the points. The other one, it was a telco company, and they told us that it's like the content that they saw they were seeing growing the mass was bought instead of live. It's like they have control live somehow, especially because at that point I'm talking about March, April. This year there's like sporting events or leagues were stopped, and so there's like more people. It's like lockdown at home. It's like they were watching like shows or bot content, and they saw a huge increase in those type of contents, like and seeing like their CDN couldn't handle at all that content. So it was like having TelToo on top of that. It also helped because you have higher chances. It's like to deliver the content thanks to the devices that were watching that same content, because there were a lot of coincidences between the content that people were watching at the same time. And the last one is the amount of traffic and the amount of video consumed by private corporates. I mean, it's like due to the pandemic, everybody was working from home, and it's like a lot of webinars and a lot of live streaming events and so on. It was like increased compared to last year, and that's an important one, because I think that's a trend that is not going to change. Because the other two might be, it's like a spike in time, where it's like you have a concrete content, and you saw that during the lockdown period, it's like people were watching more content. But this one is here to stay. It was like, and that's an important one, because after this, I think work from home is gonna stay somehow. I don't know exactly how, but
Hmm.
it's going to stay. I mean, it's like more and more people are going to embrace the power of working from home.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not going away. If anything, it's gonna be some kind of new transition, period of where we're seeing it, and we're seeing, like you said, the corporate and the events where maybe there's a combination in the future, depending on how things, the outcome of where we're at right now, of where there's a combination of maybe somewhat of the physical environment, but and having a live event where you may be streaming, but you still have kind of this remote production. So you still have this
Right?
kind of push and pull type process going on. And what I guess from your perspective is you kind of talk through that, and we see where we're at right now. And as you shared some of that information, what do you think would be? Is there one area from your perspective in terms of what maybe the customers or the audience should be thinking about in terms of they're thinking about their strategy, and maybe some considerations they should be approaching from your perspective? Maybe some food for thought.
Uh-huh. You mean it's like for more engagement with audiences and better quality of experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like one of the analogies that I always like to make is I see the entertainment industry like the food industry. It's
Mm-hmm.
like when you go to a restaurant, the first thing that you want is food, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
best food in town. Same happens with content. You want the best content, and then you need to figure out it's like the distribution channel, which is the service, right? And it's like I've always thought about this following thing. I mean, it's like you pay a tip to waiters, right? It's like if the service level is good or bad or wrong or excellent. And the same applies to CDNs, just to mention something. I mean, it's like if there's a CDN offering like a fixed amount,
Mm-hmm.
it's like for their service plus a variable amount or a variable fee, depending on, it's like the quality metrics that you want to measure with the likes of Ubora
Mm-hmm.
and the other companies. I mean, that's a game because it's like it's not only that you're gonna offer the customer a better service, but you can earn more money compared to the other companies. It's like if you think that you're gonna perform very well, and that helps a lot. I mean, it's like it's not a technology change; it's more a business model change,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps a lot because I mean the same model applies. I mean, you pay for the best service in town. This will be the same,
Right.
and that's the thing that I have more in my mind because the other thing or the other trend that I'm seeing is like content owners is like are gonna own the distribution channel too. I mean, it's like if you see over there, there's like agency news, for instance, it's like they can do live streaming right now with the technology that we have in hand. It's
Mm-hmm.
like or the main leagues can it's like stream part of their content live too, and that's something that we see there and the technology is there. I mean, it's like we have amazing technology in place,
Mm-hmm.
and they can it's like engage with their audiences more directly and in a better way because they're gonna own the distribution channel, and that's important, right? I mean, because that changes the whole industry a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Is like because the internet provides higher scalability and immediacy, and it's like if you have that, you're engaging better with your audiences. So it's pretty simple. It's like to sum up, it's about the content. It's like in how to offer that content in the best possible way. It's like you can own the distribution channel, the streaming platform, perfect. And if you can add on top of that, it's like ways to maximize the experience as like either technology or new business models.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna offer a lot of new possibilities.
That's fantastic. No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that we you summarized it great. I mean, there's the optimization, and there's the quality of experience, and I think your example and illustration of the restaurant, right, and ensuring your you know when you make the investment that we're making in terms of the environments that we're creating for our broadcast, for our live stream, and trying to service our outbound audience, and those that are watching online, regardless of where it's a corporation or a church or a nonprofit. We're really trying to optimize that approach to how we get to the next level. I think the industry part of your, and absolutely on the end stream of the spectrum of the delivery side of it. It's something that we try to address, but I don't know if we've really done that good of a job. And I think from your perspective and from your technology and the platform, you've come and brought a new approach to that and ensuring that we can get there. That's been fantastic. And I appreciate it. I mean, this has been a great, just a few minutes going over this. How, in terms of for the audience and those watching, should they go to the Haivision site to look at the technology, or where should they go to find out more about the TelToo and some of the, I know you're doing some integration in terms of the next steps in terms of the stages where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, it's like they can Google for TelToo. It's like, and they will find out the Haivision website that we created for the occasion. That, you know, it's like if you go for Haivision TelToo on Google, they will find out the concrete URL, which is, you know, it's like we are still have operating the www.teltoo.com. That will be migrated to some part of the website within Haivision website. So that's where we can find us.
That'd be great. And then they can go there, and if they want to sign up for a webinar or anything that you guys might be planning down the road in terms of a technology briefing, because I think it'd be valuable. I think anybody that's watching this video, spend the time to take the time to look at some of the technology and the team from Pablo's side, what they've developed. I think it's quite interesting. I think it's actually beneficial, and seriously consider it. So Pablo, thank you for your time today. I know, you know, it's just a tremendous honor to have you and spend a few minutes with you and talk about, you know, where we're at in the industry and where you're at. I wish you all the best and success in terms of the next stages and levels you're going into with the Haivision family. And I look forward to watching and keeping up with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much again, John, for inviting me. And thank you all for listening to us.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.